Welcome back to Get Down to Business. There is nothing that I enjoy more than marketing, but certainly one thing that I know I need to learn a thing or two about is technical marketing content. That's why I'm bringing on Karl Hughes, who's the founder of Draft.dev. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. But Karl, I know you have been hitting so many milestones since getting started at Draft.dev. Full-time staff, 200 contract writers, 90 plus clients. Congratulations, Karl. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good to be here, Shalom. Thanks.
Absolutely. What does your company do and why is it unique?
Yeah, so essentially we do technical marketing content. What that means is if you're like a web hosting company and you want to reach software developers to get them to use your platform, you go to a company like us. We're one of the very few people that actually offers this level of super deep technical written by engineer content that also serves a marketing purpose. So it's really unique in the space.
That's awesome. And I know you run your company in a pretty unique way in what I would call the post-COVID kind of way. Your team is completely remote and people are working, as I understand it, at on an asynchronous schedule. So you've got people that are working at all hours of the day and night. I'm really curious, having this conversation in late 2022, how has that been working and would you recommend that to fellow entrepreneurs tuning in?
Absolutely. I mean, so I started this business partly because I wanted the lifestyle freedom to be able to take off a day and hang out with my son when I wanted and work around his school schedule and lots of things like that. So I give that to all our employees. Like you said, mostly asynchronous. We don't do like Slack or real-time chat. Everything gets handled in project management tools and a couple maybe weekly meetings for most people. And what it allows people to do is focus on deep work and do the things we're paying them to do and not get caught up in all the sort of messy office politics stuff. There are downsides to it, and I can get into that, but like it works for the right kind of people, I'll say that. And people who self-select into Draft.dev's kind of like unique environment love it. People who self-select out totally get why it's not for them.
Fascinating. And I want to stay on that schedule of on that topic of entrepreneurship, and then we'll get more into that technical marketing side of things. But you said that you started this company because you wanted to develop a certain lifestyle, and certainly because you're really good at what you do, which is awesome. What would your advice be to fellow entrepreneurs that have an idea? How do you hit that first $10,000 in revenue and scale really, really fast like you did?
Yeah, just start selling the crap out of it. I mean, like I'm a software engineer by background, so the default for people like me, software engineers, we like to go sit in a room and build cool stuff, right? So many engineers have a hard time breaking out of that and going out and actually talking to customers. So what I did to kind of get out of my engineering shell and like make this thing happen was essentially just started getting on the phone with everybody I could find who could be a potential customer and just had a conversation, asked them for an intro to the next person. And I didn't even start it as a sales call. It was more of a learning discovery process. Really quickly, though, I started to see a need. Over and over, I was hearing, we need this. We would pay more if we could get this. We've got budget for this, but we can't find providers. And that was just a clear calling card to me, like, okay, there's a business need here. Let's just go do it.
I'm chatting with Karl. He's the founder of Draft.dev, where they create technical marketing content for companies. We've already touched on entrepreneurship. I want to touch on that technical marketing content. How can and should companies create marketing content that is actually aimed at software engineers or technical audiences, and most importantly, succeed at doing it?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to pair technical expertise with marketing and editorial skills. So very rarely do we find a software engineer who's an amazing writer that is doing that full time, right? That's not what they do. They write code every day. So what we do is we look for subject matter experts who are fairly good writers and good at organizing thoughts, good at communicating things. And then we pair them up with really experienced developmental and copy editors to make them sound really, really good, like a professional level marketing copy would be expected. So it's the pairing of those two things. We also do some other things like technical reviews. We have full-time engineers in-house that help us with that kind of thing, and a lot of other things for quality control, because we operate now at a scale where you can't just have like every single writer be a trusted known entity. You mentioned we have over 200 of them actively working. So a big part of it is making sure we've got good quality control processes in place. And that's basically the key. It's not really that secret. It's just a matter of doing it and operationalizing it in a way that you can scale it up.
And you found some very talented people, again, at Draft.dev, which we'll send people to in just a moment. But I can't leave this conversation without getting just a one more bit of entrepreneurship advice. Karl, what was the moment that you knew that, again, I'm really good at doing this, but I can't do it all myself, that I needed to bring, as I understand, you've got 15 plus full-time people and, like we said, 200 contract writers. When did you start to hire, and what has that process been like?
Yeah, my philosophy for this is I basically track my time really religiously, and I always spend 50% of my time on sales and marketing, especially at the beginning, and 50% on client operations and delivery. So once I filled up my schedule and I literally could not do any more time on client like work, I started to hire people in, and I had tracked my time well enough that I knew I was spending 5, 10, 20 hours a week on X and Y tasks, and I just filled in the gaps. Started with freelancers, moved them to part-time as we could justify it, and grew from there.
Okay, great advice. And who needs to get in contact with draft.dev and how do they do so?
Yeah, developer tools companies, you know who you are. It's a niche market, so it's not a general purpose thing. But if you are interested in marketing to a software engineering or really technical audience, data engineers, data scientists, et cetera, that's all we do. Love to talk to you. Even if we're not going to fit, I'll send you off to the right freelancers or consultants who are.
And one more time, that website and contact information.
Yeah, draft.dev, or you can find us at Twitter at draft.dev. And I'm Karl, Karl, at draft.dev.
Easy to find indeed. Karl Hughes, founder of draft.dev, and where they create technical marketing content for companies. And certainly congratulations on all of that success. I know over the coming couple of years, I know we're going to be seeing a lot more from you. We've got more small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship advice for all of you listening in Chicago and around the world. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.